So the latest of the CBA negotiation is not looking ideal from the perspective of the players. If you are a WNBA player, this is not looking great because if we're being real here, the owners and league and shareholders, I don't think this is necessarily the owners. I think if this went down to a 50-50 vote for the owners, I think 30% would be given to the players. But the owners don't own enough to really have that say. I think there are some owners that are dead set on this. So it looks that it is like it's around 15%. That the owner's new proposal is you're getting the same revenue, but we'll like sort out housing. Look, this might be a deal too good for the players to turn down. I think the players can come back with something. If the players come back with, people are saying if the players come back with anything 1.01% above 20, it'll be laughed out the room. It's now at that stage where obviously the way the league are looking at now is, it says here, after 6 weeks, the league sent the union a new proposal Friday night, and its latest proposal leads to make marginal changes to proposed revenue sharing percentage. So basically, my guess is that instead of they're putting the same system in, and they are, instead of net revenue sharing of 70, they might bump the net revenue to 80, something like that. Maybe net revenue to 85. But at the end of the day, it says WNBA's proposed revenue share percentage still does not meet or exceed 15% of total league revenue. Additionally, the league has re-engaged the union's push for a team-provided housing and limited capacity. The union previously proposed 2 developmental player roster spots per team, which the league conceded to in its last proposal. These players will only be able to be eligible to play a certain number of games and will receive a check for each game they play, in addition to a stipend. The weird thing is, though, is why would you sign a developmental slot? Because teams are probably going to go and sign free agency. So maybe you sign that spot. But like, what happens if hypothetically, I don't know, if you didn't sign a developmental spot, let's just say Ari, hypothetically like Ari last year. Ari wasn't on a team to start the year. If Ari then signed a developmental spot with the Sparks and the Fever needed a player, would she like not be allowed to go to the Fever? I don't know. Because she's stuck with the Sparks? I don't know. Well, it says here, 1-bedroom apartments will be provided for all players signed to the league's proposed minimum salary and players with 0 years of service, but only for the first 3 years of proposed CBA. In 2029, the 1-bedroom offering will be removed. If a player is paid any amount over the league's minimum salary, they will not be eligible for a 1-bedroom apartment, which means people that might be, not really, people aren't going to take hits to their salary for minimums. There's not going to be a 10k over the minimum contract, but nobody's going to take a hit because 100k is more than a 1-bedroom apartment during that time. The league has made other non-economic concessions, including pregnant player trade requests, yada yada. The league's, before Friday's offer, the league was proposing a max base salary of over 1 million, an average of over 465k. And the union's last proposal sought a salary cap of about 10.5 million, close to a 30% share of the league's total revenue before deductions. Beyond finding a middle ground revenue sharing, the union says players' highest priorities are housing, retirement benefits and facilities, and team staff requirements. The league's last proposal includes higher 401k contributions, recognition for playing for current retirees, and access for recently retired player programs, as well as team staffing requirements. So, basically, it's one of those things where it says here they couldn't consider strike for the counter proposal. This is a game of chicken. It's a game of chicken, and the owners may have played their final hand. I don't think the owners are coming back with anything. I think the owners are looking at it one of two ways. Either the players come back with a proposal and they accept the players' proposal coming back, or the players strike. It's one or the other. Rumor is, I'll talk about this later, they are looking to strike at All-Star Weekend. And they will announce their strike at All-Star Weekend, NBA All-Star Weekend, which, whatever is whatever. I don't think it really matters. They're going to have their inflatable rat, they're going to try take over NBA All-Star Weekend. Okay. The only thing is, public sentiment is not going to get them anywhere. If anything, it's not going to make it worse. Nothing can make it worse, but public sentiment is not going to make James Dolan, who has as much say in the WNBA as who wants the league to end as some other teams. Like there are multiple people that own decent chunks of the WNBA that want the league to end. So that has to be taken into account here somewhere. Like it is going to be irrelevant. It is going to be irrelevant. And you're always losing in negotiations when there are people who want to burn it down on the inside. There are people that want the league. When there are people that want the league to end on both sides, by the way. There are players that want the league to end, and there are shareholders that want the league to end. There are players that think they're better off without the NBA. There are shareholders that think they are burning money and want to stop burning money. It is what it is. Like it is what it is. This is why this situation isn't normal. Is because there are people on both sides of the union who have, I can guarantee you, have different ideas towards things. I can guarantee you that Fee thinks that they're fine if the WNBA stops because they have unrivaled, and Stewie does not. Like, I don't think it's anything. It's a personal thing, but you can tell the players that think they're fine. Natasha Cloud clearly doesn't give a flying fuck if the WNBA exists, but some players clearly do. And it's now at the stage where you have got, I think you have a player base divided. I think there is a world, I don't think it's likely, but there is a world where players cross the picket line. Like there's a world where somebody like a Nike will go to their 3 signature athletes and go, look, we are confident that if you three play, the league will be fine. We're confident if you 3 play. Reebok are probably in Angel Reese's ear being like, if they play, you play. And Nike are probably in Paige's ear, go play. Like, that is the thing. There are 3 signature athletes with Nike. There is Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese, and Paige Bueckers. So there's 3 signature athletes with Nike. Then there's Paige Bueckers, who's not a signature athlete, but has a line with Nike. Then there's Angel Reese. If those players cross the picket line, and play for those million salaries and, split the WNBA, there'll be a WNBA. They will find the players. If there is a fracture, and if there's actually a fracture, I don't think there is a fracture. I think there's just people on different sides. I don't think there is a fracture yet. But if there is a fracture, I think players could. Do I think it's likely? No. I think there is a possibility of it. Just like there's a possibility of anything. There's a possibility of them hiring a court invader during the All-Star weekend to glue themselves to the floor and have wearing a "Pay Us What You Owe Us" t-shirt. There's a world where that happens. Like literally anything is possible here. Literally anything is possible because this isn't like an NBA lockout. This is literally like a fate of the league is on the line type thing. The league will not exist. It will not exist. The WNBA responded and offered the exact same percentage or very similar. It was 13%. Maybe they offered the equivalent of 2% extra in gross, but I thought 20% would be a number where the players would be almost too good to turn down, and maybe the players will concede with the rough percentages, but change the system. If the players go, okay, we'll go, it's all of this comes out to 15% of gross revenue, cool, on average. We'll accept 15% gross revenue. Then you can work from somewhere. Then you've got a split, then you've got something, and maybe that's the way you go. If you are the players, where you get a different revenue, you fight for the revenue structure, but you don't fight for any extra money, so that long term you can renegotiate higher revenue structures. I don't know. I really don't know. Because right now I don't think the league are budging because they think it's a bubble. Anyway, I'll see you guys.